Hi, folks. Welcome to another edition of Game Marketing Ideas, Steam page breakdowns, where I go through every Steam page that I can find that I think is interesting, look at what works, what doesn't, and how we can all improve our own game marketing for our own Steam pages. Today, I'm looking at Hollow Kinght, as if Hollow Kinght needed anything improved. And this kind of goes to this point. A lot of people say, well, Hollow Kinght did this problem, why can't I? Hollow Knight's at a whole nother level. Any improvement make to the Steam page is going to be such a micro improvement to anything. It's kind of a beside the point to actually review this page. Anything I say doesn't even matter to them. They're working at such a high level. Sometimes when you have these classics, these modern classics that have exceeded everything, the Steam page is just one minor thing, and it's almost like against. I don't even like to review these because they're working at a different level than you or I are working at. But there are some ideas that we can learn from this and see where they can improve. And as I always say at the beginning of any of these, any criticism that I have for this is just my opinion. I'm not saying the dev team's stupid, they don't know what they're doing. Please don't reach out to them and say, hey, this guy Chris told you that this is dumb, you shouldn't do that. There's a myriad of reasons. They probably know it's a problem. They probably know that's a problem. They fought for 3 hours in a meeting over it, and there was a back and forth, and they decided this because of this other reason that I'm not even aware of, that why they did this thing that they did. So this is just an opinion from a guy who doesn't know what's going on internal to their team and the decisions and business strategies that they have. So take this with a grain of salt. I don't have all the right answers. Please don't reach out to them. Chris said something stupid about their page, that they're doing something wrong. I don't know what's going on in there. It's up to them. So I'm going to do my silent stream through of the page just to give you a once over quietly. There we have it. That's the Steam page. Okay, so what is the first thing that we look at is Hollow Kinght, the capsule. I love this capsule. It's clear. It just says Hollow Kinght. It's got the main character. It just shows you exactly what this game is. Standing on a precipice, overlooking, great color scheme, matches the game. It's easy to see the character, easy to see the text, looks sharp, looks good, consistent palette. I love everything about this. Now let's look at the short description. That's what I always go to after looking at the capsule. Forge your own path in Hollow Kinght, an epic action-adventure through a vast, ruined kingdom of insects and heroes. Explore twisting caverns, battle tainted creatures, and befriend bizarre bugs, all in a classic hand-drawn 2D style. To be honest, the short description, there's nothing wrong with it. It's pretty good, nothing bad. It has some verbs, but I kind of think, other than the mention of bugs, I kind of think there's nothing standing out about this short description. It just doesn't say anything. Like, this could almost be the description, other than the word bugs, for any Metroidvania. It's like, forge your own path. Like, every single game, you can forge your own path. That's what makes video games so fun, is you're forging your own path. It's an interactive medium. So I hate those kind of cliches like forge your own path, because it's just wasted words. Again, Hollow Kinght doesn't need to make any improvements. There aren't any bazillionaires. But, twisting caverns, battle tainted creatures. Again, that could be Super Metroid, could be described as that. I give this it's just a vanilla pass. There's nothing standing out. So let's go over and look at the media. Most people here's the first thing is, most people actually look at screenshots, not trailers, because trailers are slow to get started. So one thing I see right away that I don't like, look how many trailers they have. They have 5 trailers. Their whole first page is all filled up with trailers. That means players have to click this button to go see their screenshots. Don't do this. I say at most 2 trailers. After that, just either move them to your YouTube page, link to them below, something like that. Again, this is probably a fight. The trailer maker is probably on the team saying, "Don't hide my videos. I spent so long on them." But think of the shopper in this case. Like, move those old trailers, or the ones that don't do as well, off the Steam page. I say 2 at most. Now let's look at the top 4 images here. These are the first 4 are most important. We have this one, this one, this one, and this one. I think these are a textbook case of what to do for top 4 images. Let me show you why. Look at these 4. Okay, so first one. That's not it. Okay, hang on. Okay, here's the first one. Great color scheme. Kind of shows a boss battle. I think that's a boss battle. Shows that kind of color scheme, that great color scheme there. Then you've got another color scheme, and I think that's another boss battle. I played this game a while ago, but I don't remember. And then another color scheme and another boss. Great. You've just said 3 times you're doing a boss battle. I like this one, a different color scheme, and you're showing an ability to like get flying through the air. Now this is a screen. This is Metroidvania in a box right here. You've got this extra map, and then you've also got these upgrades. Those 2 images I actually think are better than all those boss fights. So the reason I don't like showing all these boss fights is it's like, okay, I know, a boss. Like, here it looks like a boss. This looks like a boss. This looks like a boss fight. You've just wasted 3 images to say you have boss fights. 1 would do. So I would move 2 of the lesser obvious boss fights out. I would do that big red spider woman who was fighting. Use that as 1 image to do that. Use this as another image because it shows that this is a Metroidvania, and then show this one with this big inventory. You want your game to be shown to have a lot of depth, and this image looks deep to me, not just literally because it's a cavern, but deep in the fact that like, it's such a vast world that I'll be exploring. Those things help. You want your capsule, your first 4 images to show the depth of your game. I do think that it's cool that their first 4 images show all these different color palettes, because different color palettes signal to shoppers, when you play a game and the color palette changes, that usually means you're in a different biome. So having 4 different things subtly says this is a deep game. It doesn't look like the same screenshot 4 times. Like the backgrounds are different. They're so different from each other. Like the background, the colors, everything. That, again, hints that this is a deep game. And that's what you want to do with your screenshots. Nothing looks repeated here. And that's one of the benefits of Hollow Knight, why I think they're so successful, is it's so deep. Everything's so well done, so hand done. It's like tons and tons of content. Like every screenshot I see looks totally different, like a totally different game. Look at how awesome that looks. There's not a single screenshot that looks repeated. So that just signals to people that it's there. Okay, let's look at the tags here. That's the next thing to check. Metroidvania, Souls-like. Top 2, again, remember your top 5 tags are the most important here. These just set the mood right there. They know they are Metroidvania. There's no like, oh, we're a little bit of this, a little bit of this. They're like, we are a hardcore, which Souls-like means, Metroidvania. Souls-like and Metroidvania, even people who don't like those know those mean hardcore game. And Hollow Knight is hardcore. They're not trying to mix things around and say add casual in here. I hate when indies add casual. That just means like, please don't be too mean on my game. By doing these 2, that really signals hardcore game. Get ready, buckle up. We're in for deep here. This is going to be a hardcore game. So that's why I actually like that. So if we look down, let's scroll down to more like this. Now, Hollow Knight is such a big game. It kind of like warps space and time with their more like this. But if you look at here, look, Dark Souls, Dead Cells, Ender Lilies, they're just hitting the souls like so hard. Bloodstained, all these, they're more like this as even their own games in there. Sekiro. I mean, this is perfect. They've really captured that Souls-like Metroidvania. They're showing up in there. Their tags are perfect. That Steam knows what they are, and actually, like I said, Hollow Knight is so big it creates its own gravity. Other games are trying to show up in Hollow Knight's more like this. So we're on a different level here. Okay, let's scroll down and look through their thing. So this is kind of neat what they've done. Last update, June 27th, which, I mean, this game's like, what, 4 years old? It's a pretty old game, and they're still doing updates. You can see when it only takes up 1 and not 2. They've only done 1 I think Steam only shows the most 2 recent if they're within like maybe 3 months of each other. So it doesn't look like their updates are happening as frequently, which is fine. This is an older game. They got other things to do, like build a yacht with all their luscious money that they've earned. So that's why there's a big banner here, because they probably haven't updated since June, which is like 2 months ago. But again, like they don't need to. This game's been out for a while. Now, for their special section, I always talk about the special section that you can add in Steamworks. They've gone with reviews. Again, they're just trying to show that prestige. Like, we are a modern classic. So they add these quotes from real big game websites like Destructoid, PC Gamer, Game Informer. This is them flexing about how they're a modern classic. Okay, let's go down to about this game. Now, I'm a little torn about this one. I mean, this looks good. This beautiful graphics. Again, they're just trying to show, like, we are made of money. This is very awesome what we do. This doesn't show gameplay or what you're doing. It just looks awesome. And you can tell these look expensive, like they hired a high-priced comic book artist to do all that stuff. That's good. This just ups their prestige. prestige. If you're an indie, never made a game, don't have any sales, this is hard because you're not showing what the game is. You could do this, but it doesn't work the same way because your biggest obstacle at this point is just telling people what kind of game you have. They've already told people what kind of game it is. They're a modern classic. So they are now just trying to like do a different thing than what you are. You're trying to tell people what kind of game you have. They have already done that. So now they're just trying to impress people. That's what this is. So it's good for them. Probably not for you if you're watching this. But if you're Hollow Knight watching this, cool. Good for you. Okay, so again, I don't really like these images because they don't really show verbs like what you do in the game. I mean, it says Metroidvania, but one thing you got to do is like, what type of Metroidvania? Are you a shooting type of Metroidvania? Are you a sword slashing Metroidvania? What kind it is? That's what you have to define here. If I were critiquing this when they just came out, that's what I would have the biggest critique of. Now, if you look down, they may have changed the sense, but you do see right here in this about this game section. Look at this right here, sword slash. And you kind of see these magical powers here. That is what I was talking about, is showing like, what do you do in this game? Oh, you're a sword slash Metroidvania. Cool. That's what kind of combat I have. I love these little horizontal rules that are done by an artist. Very subtle. Like they don't have a huge palette. It's just white, but it's just artistic here. This just says, we've got money. We have hired a graphic designer. I love those things. I think those are so cool. Okay. So then, again, all these little images of the game kind of show what the game's all about. I love this beetle. Like, who doesn't want to ride a giant beetle? So again, those things kind of help really show what kind of game you have and what you do in the game. So I do like those, but focus more on what you do. This little magic power thing sort of shows like, hey, not only is it sword slash, which we saw up there, you can also do these little magic tricks or these special abilities like double jump. All Metroidvanias have double jump at some point. So I think those are helpful. Those are good. Okay. That's it. Did they do a publisher thing? I think it's just Team Cherry across the board. Do they have any other games? I think they just have like variations on it. So they have their soundtrack. Let's see. They have 3 other games. I'm going to hold off on, I think that's okay that they don't have that franchise section at the bottom. One, because they just don't have enough other stuff to recommend because they're Team Cherry. They self-published. They did all that stuff. So there's no other games they have to cross-promote. If they add another game, a sequel, or something else, then I would say get that franchise section at the bottom there. But that's it. So that's Hollow Knight. Great game. Reviewing a Steam page like this is fun, but they don't need it. They're doing their own thing. They're in their own gravitational pull, their own location. We can only look from afar. I wouldn't follow what they do too closely because, again, they're playing a different game than we are. So that's that. Thank you very much, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye.